Welcome to Zombie Advisor with James Knapp, the only podcast where being undead isn't an excuse for being unresponsive. This is the space where financial advisors and clients come together to break free from the old, slow-moving reactionary system. Tune in as we shake the dust off of outdated practices, dissect what really matters to today's clients, and tap into the brains of industry leaders who are actually alive, alert, and crushing it.
Today is April 7th, 2026 here in St. Paul, Minnesota, and it is 30 degrees outside. On this day in history, the Dow Jones Industrial Average had its best single day performance, up 7.73% on April 7th, 2020. You must go all the way back to 2009 when the NASDAQ gained 3.89%. Then in 2003 at 3.64%, and then all the way back to 1938 when the Dow was up 2.93%. So it's kind of amazing when you go back in history and look at it. Our guest today is Shawn Van Winkle, special guest. Shawn started his career in law enforcement. Before moving into financial services, he joined Principal Financial in June of 2017 on the retirement education side and came over to Boyum Wealth Architects, and we're happy to have him here, in October of 2025 as a retirement plan advisor. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Yeah,
Thank you.
This is awesome. So why did you get into financial services?
Oh, well, you know me, James. I like to tell a little bit of a story, but primarily, to be concise, it was because of my mom and dad.
Okay.
They didn't handle money very well.
Okay.
And so I saw that, and they're still living, they still struggle. And I thought to myself, I can help, and I want to help, and I don't want that type of future for me, or if I could influence anybody else, for them as well. So that's really why I got into this business.
Interesting. Yeah, it's kind of an amazing statistic, right? Only 1 in 10 people ever retire at the same lifestyle that they're accustomed to, which is pretty low, right? So 9 people you come across out of 10 are pretty poor with their money, which is amazing, right? So your parents are a common story in America.
Very much so.
Right. More resources than ever, can't hold on to it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Very correct.
Kind of amazing. So as retirement plan specialist, what is it you do?
So what I do primarily is I look at opportunities where I could go into an employer and say, hey, I think I can help you out with efficiencies, take some of the responsibilities off your shoulder, let you run your business because that's what you're really good at, and let me handle the day-to-day activities along with my partners and my internal colleagues, and let that part of the business be as efficient as your business. So that's one less thing that you have to worry about, and one more thing that I get to plan for and participate in and educate your employees, and so they have an opportunity to grow their wealth as well.
Sure. Right. So more of like an outsourced HR component to their retirement plan.
Yep.
So a lot of that is legal, right? ERISA is part of the law.
Yes, very much so.
What you can and can't do.
Correct.
And then when you say that you help their employees, what does that mean? I'm so
really
confused.
Provide them really great education, right?
Okay.
I don't want to give them individual advice because I don't know enough about them. I really can't dive into their personal histories, what drives their decisions, but I can provide them with the tools and the resources to help them make educated decisions when it comes to their retirement. How much they should contribute, how it affects their taxes, what it really means for them, what a mutual fund is,
Sure.
at a really high level. So it's not as scary when they go in and say, well, it's benefit enrollment time, what do I do?
Yeah.
Now they have a little bit more of a baseline to say, oh, okay, baby step, this is easy. And once you kind of get over that initial hurdle or trauma of not understanding, paralysis by analysis, then okay, I can do this. And I come in perhaps on an annual basis saying, how did that go? Oh, that went great. Awesome. Let's do it again. If you're doing 3%, let's do 4.
Sure.
You're doing 4%, let's do 5. And really get to a point where they say, that's enough. I see it grow. I think I'm on a good pathway. I'm like, awesome. Don't change it, and have those really great conversations to say, how did that feel? Well, I didn't even feel it.
Yeah.
Great. Can you do one more?
Yeah.
And it's always about those moments where it's just a baby step, just one step at a time to get you to that that point. And that's something that my dad taught me.
Mm.
The hardest part about any job is just getting started. Once you're started, easy peasy, Ronald Weasley.
Mm-hmm. So you worked for one of the largest retirement plan services companies in America, right?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Principal Financial.
Principal Financial Group.
And we still use Principal Financial.
We do.
Right.
We do.
We do. What did you learn at Principal, and then how do you compare that to a boutique firm like ours?
Well, I mean, I learned a lot at Principal. I learned really good things and what to identify, and I learned what not to do. What I learned to do really, really well is take care of the client first, right? Try to anticipate needs, try to understand their goals and objectives, and meet them where they are, and help them make decisions, and be a partner and collaborator with them, and not against them or talk over them or anything along those lines. What I learned not to do is take control of their retirement as a whole, meaning, no, this is mine, right? You go away and, try to monetize something else and not have that combative nature. I'm not about that. I'm about, hey, what can I do to help? What can I do to partnership with you? How can I anticipate your needs? Where can I add value? And where can I be a partner and an extension of your benefits package? That's really what it is that I am. I learned so much as it relates to driving results, the legality of incorporating a 401k plan, the opportunities to partnership with third-party administrators so they can take on that legwork as well, and then just diving into what the service provider has to offer as a whole to the plan owners. And it was a whirlwind of experience. And then from that point, I went on to executive compensation, kind of getting away from retirement a little bit and learning how equity comp kind of plays a factor in highly compensated employees and how to retain them and provide them with more means to reach their goals, because their goals are certainly different than other people's goals, but ultimately just to retire with dignity.
Sure. So you started in retirement plan services, and then you went on to like stock options, performance stock units, restricted stock units, things like that.
Correct.
Okay. Now we don't deal with many of those things, right? Like that's not where we don't deal with a lot of public market companies.
No.
We deal with companies that are smaller, and so they might have a phantom stock plan.
Yeah, a bonus plan.
Yeah. Or an ESOP.
Right?
Right. You love the ESOPs.
I do love the ESOPs. They're very valuable.
They are.
They're very valuable.
You told me that you had a zombie advisor story for me. So let's hear this thing.
Well, the zombie story was when I was working many years ago as a dialing for dollars customer service representative.
Okay.
I thought I was doing everything right. I was checking in with my supervisor, my immediate manager, and making sure that I brought this client in. And, life insurance and annuities, I was a CSR, a licensed CSR representative for fixed product. So I have my life insurance license. And I did what I thought was right, what the goals were, brought him in, and I waited and looked at my paycheck. I'm like, hey, I didn't get paid for this.
Yeah.
Well, they were a client of a client, 10 years ago, and they're considered a client, so you don't get paid.
Oh.
So then I asked the leadership at the time, well, did you get paid? Well, that's neither here nor there.
Okay.
Oh, well, I appreciate that, but I just want to understand the dynamics here. Did you get paid on it? The new assets that came in? Yeah. Okay. That's awesome.
So yours was more like you were the zombie and they were taking advantage of you.
Well,
who was the zombie in this one?
I think the zombie is that it was not communicated with me, although I thought I did all the right things, right? I was communicating with the client, making sure that they were able to understand the products that I had to offer,
Mhm.
understand the relationship that I was willing to build, and then going back to compliance and saying, does this look right? Yeah, this looks right. I mean, nothing's tied to it. We're good to go. And then unbeholden to me later was, oh, he went on a plan with his dad. His social security number was tied to it, but no money is moved over
Mm.
on his own. It was through his dad, you know. Yeah, but still, I'm like, okay, I vetted this. I thought I vetted it correctly, but I was a little upset.
That's crazy. Sorry that happened to you.
Well, live and learn.
Live and learn. Yep. It was
Ask
a
the right
lesson.
questions.
I think about the plan that we worked on recently, and they had what, 60 employees, something like that. I think it was 60 employees. They were nowhere close to us, and you met with almost all 60 employees to go through
Yes.
onboarding those employees through a new formal process that they hadn't gone through before. And so you went through and personally educated each employee to what their retirement plan was, how it worked, and got them enrolled into it.
Yes. Loved it.
Yeah, that was so that's the opposite. So I would say that the firm that had the plan prior to us was a company, and they never met with the employees, right? And my understanding was they never met.
Never did.
Never met the employees. The owner of the company didn't really know how the plan was functioning, and that there was like an OSJ component of it. So there's somebody that's responsible for picking the funds. There's a third party administrator, and then there's the plan sponsor, right? Those
Correct.
are three different things. Now, as an employer, you can take responsibility for things you didn't know you were taking responsibility for and get yourself into trouble with ERISA.
Oh, yes.
Okay. That was not, in my understanding of this plan, that was not communicated to the customer at all.
Not at all. They didn't realize how much liability they were on the hook for potentially.
Right.
Until we came in and offered our services, and then it was discovered by the owner. Oh, please take this off my plate. Absolutely.
Right.
More than happy to.
Right.
Hold up. Just a quick pause in the zombie action. You're listening to Zombie Advisor, and I'm so pumped you're here. Got a question? Want to challenge something I said? Head over to boyumwa.com or hit the show notes to find me. Don't be shy. I'm not actually undead.
At the same time, the amount of people that were utilizing their retirement plan was very low.
Very low.
Like how low? Do you remember?
38%.
Yeah, 38%. So you moved that considerably, my understanding. What that allowed the employer to do was actually contribute more to their plan themselves. So as the employees benefit, so does the employer.
Yes.
That's the way the ERISA is actually drafted, in my opinion, to protect the employer from what I would call your zombie story, because somebody benefited but you didn't. And the same thing's true for ERISA in the way that you look at it. If we all win, we all win. If we all lose, we all lose. But I'm not going to win and you're going to lose.
Right.
Right. And that's what happened in your zombie story. But it was because of the way that the plan was structured, because there was lack of education and understanding in the plan, that nobody was really participating.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
So you were able to go in, meet with the owner, redesign the plan, actually take it over, and then help the employees in their benefit enrollment process.
Correct. And then on top of that as well is that we made the plan more cost efficient for the owner.
Right.
And that was conveyed in the meeting as well. I mean, because being very transparent, saying, we do a service here, and we do it really, really well. And when we provide them with the type of education and service that we did, then we're going to raise the lowest level up.
Yep.
So then that ultimately helps the top layers as well.
Yep.
And so then everybody wins, to your example, James. And that gives me peace of mind saying, you know what, if I can enumerate the lowest level employees just to understand 1% today, and then maybe 2% tomorrow, then that's a win.
Big one.
Right. And then the owners can say, that's a win because now I can put in a little bit more as well and not be beholden to this benefit that's costing me money.
I mean, in this example, the client or customer, the owner of the business, didn't really care how much they were contributing. They wanted their employees to win more.
Yes.
I mean, they were very much driven towards the employee winning.
Yes.
And that was the motivation behind actually making the change. If I'm really clear about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of an amazing story if you really think about it. Employer really cared about employees. There was another person that was their zombie advisor. Let's call them zombie.
Yeah.
And they weren't doing their job
No.
at all, and hadn't for over a decade.
Yeah. Years.
Like, I think it was more than 15 years.
Yeah, that's sad.
It's very sad.
It's very sad.
So from a time value of money standpoint, all of these employees missed out on all of that matching contribution,
Profit sharing.
the market going up
15 years.
15 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's many tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars for some of these employees.
Yeah.
Which really affects their retirement.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. You see it on a daily basis, right? Because had they had the opportunity to have education that we provide them,
Mhm.
right? Then whatever they put in would have been exponentially more than what they left with.
Right.
Had they had just some education.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just not at the participant level. It's also at the ownership level or the plan sponsor level as well. So it really behooves me to really get out there, ask these, sometimes hard questions. What do you want to do? What do you want it to look like? Have you had an experience that you didn't like? Tell me more about that so I don't duplicate that. So I don't become zombie.
The zombie.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be the zombie ever.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Makes sense. All right. So you're at a large, huge institution. You're working on the employee benefits side now, and you're dealing with executive compensation, which is more of like golden handcuffs.
Very much so. Golden parachute.
It's
too.
the parachute and the handcuffs.
It's all.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are tethered to the tree, but if you stay, you get a lot of money.
Lot of money.
Okay. And now you come to a boutique firm like ours. What are the differences that you've seen from where the zombies were to where the zombies are today?
So where the zombies were, absolutely. When you have a bigger firm like that, you have innumerable resources.
Yep.
Right. The resources, endless.
Like,
do anything, marketing and education and travel here and travel there.
Yep.
But then identity gets lost.
Okay. What's that
right?
mean?
So what that means is that, your backing is, if I lose this client, so what?
No big deal.
No big deal. You'll find somebody else. All right. You'll replace them, and then the mentality goes to, and I loved this terminology in the industry, is that we want to monetize every aspect of the relationship.
Okay.
Every growth opportunity, every advancement, and the reason why they got where they were wasn't because they monetized everything initially. It's how they treated people. And when I went from a bigger firm, they're like, oh, okay, well, now we are a big fish in a little pond.
Yep.
And we're fighting for even bigger fish.
Yep.
Whereas when I looked at opportunities that existed outside of that, and I looked and I started narrowing my focus on this firm, and Boehm in particular, smaller, and if I can use this language, more intimate, more opportunity to really deepen those relationships and to show value instead of losing my identity as an educator, as a retirement plan advisor, and just letting people understand that I'm here and you matter to me, because if you go away, then that affects me. Yep. And I'm selfish, but I am selfish in a way that I want you to succeed just as much as I do.
Yeah. So win-win.
Yeah. Win-win.
Yeah.
Top to bottom.
It's to help the client actually understand. I mean, these people don't have that many resources.
They don't. And our resources are somewhat limited.
Right.
So then we partner with really good people. Right. To have back and forth resources. I'm like, can you do this? Can we do this? I'll take this off your plate. Will you take this off my plate? Absolutely.
Right.
And so we're all in it to win it together, instead of having this mentality of, you know what, you're not big enough for me, so I'm going to pass you over. I don't like that. I mean, I think everybody deserves an opportunity to know a little bit more and to better themselves by 1 degree, just a baby step of a difference.
Sure.
And I love it.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's kind of amazing when you think about like your career and all the different things that you've done and where you ended up. Did you think you would end up at a boutique firm?
No,
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 nobody
not at
ever
all.
does.
No,
Nobody ever does.
no.
Nope.
But you know what? There's so much beauty in collaboration. I mean, I get to walk down to your office
Yep.
and say, hey, what are you doing? I want to bounce something off of you.
Yep.
I mean, you're a busy guy, right?
Sometime.
I see your calendar, and a lot of Christmas tree lights going on in that calendar. And but I'm not fearful.
No.
Whereas, you know, you're in a bigger firm, you have to go through layers and layers and layers and layers of zombies to get to the top guy
A lot of
or gal.
bureaucracy.
And then it's not an intimate personal conversation. It's politicized in some format, or it's I forget the name. It's scrubbed of any personality.
Yep.
And here we get the opportunity to go to a go-kart race, right? Or, you know, maybe at some point we can have paintball wars, right? You know, because my background in law enforcement, I think I'd be really good at that.
Yeah, watch out, people.
It's paintball,
Yeah.
and or tase or whatever, and it's great because immediate access.
Yep.
Because I don't have all the answers, nor do you,
Nope.
right? But we have a collaboration of thought. We have a similarity in help, and I'm glad that you chose me and I chose you.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
No, it's a lot of fun. At the end of the day, what we're trying to do is accomplish the one call service model for the clients, right? They get to deal with the CPAs. They get to deal with the investment advisors. They get to deal with the retirement plan advisors. They get to deal with the financial planners. They get to deal with the estate planners. They get to deal with all aspects of their life, because as a business owner, you don't have a lot of resources, but you have a lot of things pulling at you, different directions you have to go, different decisions you have to make every day. All of these things are expensive. You don't understand how many resources you're going to be spending on them. So it's really easy to not do anything.
Yes.
The analysis paralysis that you said before, but it's actually better for everybody if you just take baby steps and start moving towards even making it 1% better the next day. Yeah.
And you brought up a really excellent point, James, with regard to, you know, bonus plans and, you know, trying to help people all around. In this environment, it's the true, I think it's the truest sense as we know it of what the one call service model should look and feel like, right? Because as a retirement plan advisor, that initially may cascade to individual wealth.
For sure, it should.
And they're going to have questions about their taxes. Hey, guess what? We can connect with an internal colleague.
Right.
We have questions about investments. Hey, we have a chief investment officer that knows what he's doing. And we all have this, you know, access versus, you know, a bigger box. Well, that's not our wheelhouse. Let your fingers do the walking. If you're familiar with the white pages or the yellow pages, remember those days?
Yes. It's a long time ago.
Yeah. Right.
Now you're dating yourself, Rip. No, this is a lot of fun. I'm glad you came on the show. We're happy to have you on our team. The zombie story is actually really interesting in how it ties to where you got to in your career. It was definitely it was impactful.
Yes, it was
for you, and it's actually driven where you've gotten to today. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
It was a lot of fun. Have a good day.
Thank you, James.
Yep. For everybody who's listening today, please like and subscribe us. You can watch us on your favorite YouTube channel or go to Zombie Advisor on any podcast that you listen to. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the Zombie Advisor with James Knapp. Don't forget to hit that follow button so you never miss an episode. Want to learn more? Visit us at boyumwa.com, BOYUMWA.com, or give us a call at 651-289-6444. The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of the guest and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of Boyum Wealth Architects. The content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended as a substitute for professional investing advice. Always consult your financial advisor or other qualified service providers with any questions you may have regarding your personal investment planning.